Many survivors of narcissistic abuse struggle a lot with their wavering faith in divine. They wonder and ask questions like, what did I do to deserve this punishment? Why was I put through this hell? Why do I get to suffer and the narcissist gets to live their life freely? They move on from one person to the other, while as I cannot move on from my pain. How and when will the justice be delivered? I have my understanding of it. Today, I'll be talking about what God does to a narcissist, how the justice is delivered when the narc crosses all his or her limits. I am Danish, a psychologist, a trauma therapist, and a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. The topic for today's episode is clear: how God punishes a narcissist when he is done with him or her. When trying to process the rage that I felt towards my father during my healing journey, I continuously asked myself a question. I wondered, when will God deliver the justice? When will my father face that rage, that divine rage? And when will he stop him? Not only him, but his father as well, as he was a part of this whole thing. Narcissism in my family was passed down like eye color, hair color. Almost every single person that I know of has some of it. And then I wonder, you may also wonder, well, how come you're different? I had to be, I didn't have any option. Somebody had to break the cycle. I tried my best. That's why I have no contact with all of them, like nothing. I'm totally done with them. Anyways, back to the topic. So, during that journey, while processing the anger, I realized he's already suffering. What I'm focusing on is what is available to him. A lot of them get to live a long life. They get to taste success like no other person. They get to have all the money. They get to use all the people. Yes, that's true. But what is their internal experience of it? They are dissatisfied. That's why they keep jumping from one person to the other. That's the reason. They are cold. Their heart is not beating. It's just a lump of flesh moving. There is no soul in it. They have everything at their disposal, but they can't feel it. They can't taste it. They can't smell it. They can't see it. They can't hear it. They can't touch it. They are in flesh here, but it's actually a ghostly presence. They don't know what life is. And in my opinion, to me, that is the entire life wasted. If you're living your life as a parasite, if you depend on others to feel something, you're gone. You're already gone. And that is your suffering. That was my realization. And then, I don't know if it was a divine intervention or not, but during this work, the work that I'm doing, I'm meeting people on a daily basis, I came across a few narcissists who booked sessions with me, wanted to know how to, let's say, be a changed person. But I happened to ask them, what is it like for you to be who you are? And all of them told me the same thing. It may seem like we are living our life and it's so good, but we're suffering. And that suffering, we can't even face it. We have no option. Even if I wanted to go in, I can't, because if I attempted to go in, I will have to die. It's like rebirth. And the thought of collapsing like that gives me extreme anxiety. The same thing was said in different ways by different people. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that is their suffering. Yes, unfortunately, you came in their way, and I have no explanation for that. The thought that comes to mind is maybe they were a catalyst in your life. Maybe they were used to show you a direction. Sometimes we do have to go through tough times. That's not to say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. No, I'm not saying that. It's my own understanding of it. Had I not been through what I have been through, I would have never been able to help so many people. So that's my peace with it. That's how I see my purpose. That's how I understand it. Maybe there was something in it for you. Maybe it was just a wake-up call, something to tell you you need to work on the core issues. You need to be your authentic self. That's my understanding. And if you do not agree with it, that's totally okay. That's totally okay. You may see it as abuse. There's no explanation to it. There doesn't have to be a reason behind somebody abusing you. It cannot be justified at all. To offer you a different perspective on the same topic, I have a very interesting story to share with you. A story of a very powerful king named Shaddad. Once upon a time, in the vast kingdom of Ad, there lived a very powerful king named Shaddad. He was blessed with unparalleled resources, wealth, health, access to anything he liked, you name it, he had it. All of that was a test for him. He could have used it to benefit humanity, to uplift people, but he used all of those resources to fuel his grandiose narcissistic self. A time came in his life when he heard about divine heaven, heaven created by God for those who are good people. And then he challenged God. He got a narcissistic injury because he saw himself as God and then decided to build a heaven in this world, on the earth. Kind of insulting God and saying, what do you think you are? Your heaven is nothing before the one I am going to build. I don't need your heaven, I will create my own. So he started the preparations, spent a lot of time to build that city he called heaven. There were streams flowing, it was decorated with jewels, women, men, everything. It had everything in it. It took him, as I said, a long time. God gave him the leeway, and people around him started questioning God. What? Like he is able to do that, that must mean God does not exist. But then, when it came the time for him to enter that heaven, God took away his soul. He did not let him step into it, proving to him that no, he's not that powerful, that he doesn't have control over everything, that he is just a human being. So the moral of the story is they can get whatever they go after, but that doesn't mean they are living a peaceful life. And you all know the end of their life is miserable. It's such a striking similarity between Shaddad's story and a narcissist's life. They get to have it all, but they do not enjoy anything of that. Towards the end, it's all gone wasted. What is the proof of that? Well, their bitterness. Why do they feel so fragile and out of place? Why do they hurt people more than ever? Why can't they contain themselves? Well, the answer is they lose control and they can't play those narcissistic mind games anymore. They see themselves falling apart, which is anti-narcissistic false self. That is when God takes your revenge. I witnessed it happening right before my eyes. Recently, my narcissistic, psychopathic grandfather passed away, and I didn't attend that funeral, no. But I heard a few things. Just within a couple of days of him dying, his 4 or 5 sons started fighting amongst each other for the money that was spent on that funeral. Can you imagine that? All of them are narcissists, but death and money just was a few $100s, nothing more. Something all of them could have efforted through contribution, but they fought over it, and it turned into a huge issue. Nobody was by his side. He died alone. he couldn't say anything at all. And even in his last days, he was trying to get supply from his past life. Oh, I used to be this, I used to do that. I don't know where that strength is gone. He was not able to accept his reality because he had thought he's going to be powerful forever. But God showed him the truth, and he lived a long life to realize that he's nothing but a pile of dirt that has to go under earth, that has to vanish away. That is the truth. And that life is their suffering. Long life does not mean a big gift. For some, it's a curse. Some really pray and wish it to end. And narcissists, towards the end of their life, are amongst those people. So that is how God teaches them a lesson in their own way. And if you believe in afterlife, then you know what is coming for them. If you believe in reincarnation, you know what is coming for them. Their soul never finds peace and it suffers eternally. I hope that gives you some peace. I know you are not a revengeful human being. You do not want them to suffer. So don't I. But it's divine system. That's how it works. There is always a balance. It's karma. It's karmic law. If you do something wrong, you will have to pay for it here and hereafter. Nothing goes wasted. So that was it for today's episode. I hope you found it insightful. Let me know in the comments. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.